Hey guys, it is Tim. What are you? It's Tim and James. I dropped my notes with Tabletop Terrors, and today's video was actually inspired by Demetri Martin, the comedian. And I was watching a show of his that he just put on Netflix recently, and I don't want to ruin the joke, but I'm going to tell you it's a joke about a cracker. He tells a joke about a cracker, and right after the joke is finished, he says, "That joke never does well, but I tell it anyway." And I just thought, he knows that the joke doesn't do well. People don't laugh at it. But he's a famous comedian who just proved, he's like, look, but I like it, and I'm secure in my taste, so I'm going to tell that joke because I enjoy telling it.
Exactly. And of course, he gets that secondary laugh from that joke. But still, it makes a good point.
Right. Now, the video that we're doing is, I think we were going to call it something like, I don't like your style. And it's about finding your taste and being secure in your taste, especially when you play games online or in, larger groups or conventions where there's going to be a lot of different opinions.
It's also about Vegas in the 50s. Yeah, kid, I don't like your style, eh?
I was going to say cut of your jib, but that's piratey. I can't think of a 50s kind of like, I don't like the shape of your moxie. I don't know. James, I don't like the shape of your moxie.
Quit looking at my moxie.
I know. I got something you can put on there. So, what does this mean? Well, James and I were having a conversation, and we were like, okay, the rest of Demetri Martin's show obviously has to get laughs from the crowd. So, the first point is, you have to find your audience, but you also have to make sure that you're doing something that is not all cracker jokes.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you're looking for that audience. Well, what is your audience? Well, if you're a game master, it's your players. Or if you're a player, it's your game master, and vice versa. So, let's talk about some people and their tastes, and how being secure in their tastes has helped them become, I guess you'd say, thought leaders, or like the most popular person in that field.
Yeah, all right.
So, see the shirt I wore for the video?
I see that.
So tell me, James, a little story about Kirk Hammett.
So one of the like most popular quotes I hear about Kirk Hammett, like I've read in guitar magazines, and I've seen people say, like whether professional or not, they say literally the exact line: Kirk Hammett isn't the most technically skilled, but I really like his solos. Or the end of that sentence can be switched out with anything, but it's always Kirk Hammett isn't the most technically skilled, but. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, yeah, but what does that mean? Like, is that what really matters?
Right.
Because it sounds more like he's found his style and he's found his audience, and he sticks with that. I think that if he really wanted to, he could play differently. But I wouldn't like it.
No.
And millions of other people that love Metallica may not like that.
Right. And so for me, with Kirk Hammett's solos, and by the way, he's the lead guitarist for the band Metallica. Kirk Hammett's solos consistently make me air guitar. Mm-hmm. Especially like, if you he hits this stride, and you can kind of pick, because I want to go back to and name all the songs. Well, on Kill 'Em All, it would be this. Well, actually, on Kill 'Em All, it's funny. On Kill 'Em All, he has a much more wild, just this ferocity. He's like notes everywhere. Just like, blah, blah, blah. Then comes Ride the Lightning. And you can tell he starts developing his taste. And the solos on there start to kind of tell a story. And then it progresses. And the point to all of it is, he's not technically doing it right by what most guitar teachers would tell you. But he has some of the most soulful, memorable solos in heavy metal history because he found his style and he's sticking with it.
And it's actually really funny because I've heard people play Kirk Hammett solos. And every once in a while in a cover or something else, and they'll play it perfectly, but not like Kirk Hammett. They'll play every single note perfectly, and I'm like, no, you can't voice them that way. You have to kind of roll your fingers over the other strings to make that other sound come out.
They make it too perfect.
You have to do it wrong to make it sound right. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, there's no sauce on it. There's no of that. So Kirk Hammett is an example. So how can you relate this to tabletop RPGs? Well, as you DM or play, don't be afraid to do what you think is fun. Don't be afraid to do the equivalent of not being a technical guitarist, and find other people who want to play that way.
Yeah.
And don't let people who are of a different taste grind you or wear you down on your particular taste.
Now, and it's very specific that we are not specifying any tastes in particular, because it's what you like. You should find people that like to play what you do, and it really doesn't matter what that is as far as role-playing games go.
Exactly.
If you love the meat grinder, always fighting, what do you call it, murder hobo style, if you and your group love that, do it. But don't let somebody that doesn't like that make you think that's wrong.
Right. And the key I found, too, is that if that's your style, you're going to be passionate about finding new ways to do it and kind of reinventing it and looking at it in a way that only someone who loves it can do. So that sort of brings me to the next thing that I want to talk about, and it's a quote from an author. And I'm actually going to read the quote to you. This is a quote from Ira Glass. And he says, "Nobody tells this to people who are beginners. I wish someone told me. All of us who do creative work, we get into it because we have good taste. But there's this gap. For the first couple of years you make stuff, it's just not that good. It's trying to be good. It has potential, but it's not. But your taste, the thing that got you into the game, is still killer. And your taste is why your work disappoints you. A lot of people never get past this phase. They quit. Most people I know who do interesting creative work went through years of this. We know our work doesn't have this special thing we want it to have. We all go through this. And if you're just starting out, or if you're still in this phase, you gotta know it's normal, and the most important thing you can do is a lot of work. Put yourself on a deadline so that every week you finish one story. It's only by going through a volume of work that you're going to close that gap, and your work will be as good as your ambitions. And I took longer to figure out how to do this than anyone I've ever met. It's going to take a while. It's normal to take a while. You've just got to fight your way through.
So the important thing is, if you, say, find yourself making a campaign world or DMing and you don't really like it, the only thing that's going to make you get better at it is to keep doing it.
Right.
If you love how somebody DMs, if you watch those Acquisitions Incorporated, or if you watch, a DM that you love, or in general, if you, love stories, if you want to make your stories that good, you have to keep making stories. There's no, what do you call it?
Shortcut?
Substitution. Yeah, there's no shortcut.
There's no potion, there's no magic.
It's the kind of thing where every time you run a game, you'll learn something new. Every time you play in a game, you'll learn something new, and that's the only thing to make you better. And until your taste catches up with, or rather your
skill catches up with your taste.
Skill catches up with your taste, you'll never be that.
And you'll be frustrated.
But that's completely normal. And again, it's very important not only to realize that, but to make sure that no other people make you think that your taste is wrong.
Exactly. So, in closing, to kind of wrap everything up, if you're happy with where you are, then that's perfect. And stay there and be happy. If you want to pursue maybe more immersion or even learning the rules better, the only way to do it, as he just said, is to dig in and do it. And so, using that quote from Ira Glass, it's essentially just, you have to continue to push through. And if you land at a place to where you're Demetri Martin's cracker joke, it's okay. And find 2 or 3 other people who enjoy it as much as you, because there's nothing quite as disheartening as an idea that you're passionate about and you love, that someone else you respect is like, oh, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Don't take that as it's a bad idea. Take it as some people like this flavor, some people like this flavor. And you could use tons of analogies.
Well, and to that point, some flavors are more well-liked. Coca-Cola does well for a reason. But that doesn't mean that some other, crazy sodas that are maybe, artisanal and you can only find in certain places aren't good. It just means that maybe only some people like rhubarb-flavored soda.
Exactly.
If you love rhubarb-flavored soda, run games where you can sell rhubarb flavored. We're just mixing it all up, but I'm sure you get the idea by now.
Yes. So
own it. Just own whatever it is.
Exactly. So the reason why we call the video I don't like your style is because someone is going to tell you that. And they might not word it that way, but that's what they mean.
Yeah.
The final thing is that this doesn't mean don't take criticism. You're going to do things that are probably stupid. You're going to do things that maybe weren't your best ideas or that maybe weren't awesome. Take constructive criticism from people that you know have similar styles, and even those people who tell you that they don't like what you're doing, sometimes they're right in what they don't like.
Yeah, you sort of have to balance that, catching up your skill to your, I can never remember.
I know, your skill to your taste.
Bam.
Oh, that wasn't even planned.
So there's the phase of catching up your skill to your taste, but also remaining fervent in your taste, whatever it may be.
Which could change. And don't be afraid to change moods. Like, listen, love me some heavy metal, but sometimes I get down on some bass hunter, or all kinds of stuff. So anyway, we do like your style, but the video was to show you that whatever it is, push through, keep practicing.
Yeah. So, of course, remember, guys, to like, comment, and subscribe. Mm-hmm. You can find this and other awesome stuff at tabletopterrors.com. And there's something else we're supposed to tell them. I don't remember what it is.
I always just say, may your dice roll high.
That's the one.
All right, guys.
See you next time.
Tabletop Terrors! Tabletop Terrors! Tabletop Terrors! Tabletop Terrors!
That looks super. Is that good?
That's where we put it when we were testing. That was the test thing.
Okay. I just didn't know if it moved.
No.
Okay, good. All right, ready? I'm ready.
I don't know. Am I ready?
You ready, bro?
You ready?
Yeah.
You ready?